Hi everyone and welcome back. This is Sky coming on to make a quick video about the new moon in Taurus happening May 11th, 2021. I am coming on right near that date actually, so be sure that you hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell on so that when these videos post you get notified. In case it is so close to that date as is this video. So yes, I am really excited to make this video because I do feel like it is a marker of a new chapter. I do feel that this new moon this year is probably the most potent new moon because it is conjunct Uranus, and obviously the sun as a new moon is a sun-moon conjunction. That happens once a month, but it is really close to conjunct Uranus. You know, we just had the Grand Taurus stellium that happened, which I'll link below and in the top right hand corner, and we've just had Pluto Retrograde start as well. So it's really interesting to see the earth signs so activated in this way. We've got Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. We've got this new moon in Taurus, conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Very earthy energy for sure, okay? And what I'm going to be talking about in this video is just some of the intuitive messages that I'm feeling about the new moon in Taurus, you know, ways to work with this energy well, and, you know, just kind of provide a bit of a backdrop for you about the oncoming time. And be sure to comment below if you have any other ideas or any, other thoughts that you have about this transit as well. Usually, all the new moons that happen in the same sign as other transiting outer planets, these are the really potent new moons of the year. So with that in mind, I think that this is, like I said, probably one of the biggest markers of a new start that a lot of us have, or a new beginning. We have a big preparation phase coming up for a big summer retrograde season. And I would say that this new moon definitely gets us in that headspace. Okay, like, what do I need to deal with? What have I not faced yet? What unfinished business is still looming in my life? But I feel that one of the first things about this new moon in Taurus is that it does ease up our mind a lot. Like, it really de-stimulates us, it feels. It calms us down. It kind of solidifies, stabilizes, and regiments our emotional sphere, okay? Again, the moon is the body that deals with our emotions, our ebbing and flowing mentality, you know, the things that are in flux in our lives. And then Taurus is the fixed sign. The moon is actually exalted in Taurus. It loves to be in Taurus because it helps to fix and stabilize the very difficult to contain energy of the moon. So with that in mind, what needs containment in your life? Like, what is off the charts? What is very polarized? What is zigzagging back and forth and, you know, all over the place, basically? This new moon in Taurus, with the proper intention, can start you on a path where you really start to get things in order, where you really start to make a sense of continuity, consistency, and stability in your life. So I do think that it's a beautiful moon to be more connected to what you want in your life, in the sense that you are actually providing yourself an environment with which you can create what you want. So what I'm trying to get at here is, no longer, I think, should you feel like you're totally out of reach of your goals, or no longer should you feel like you're delaying them or putting them off or detaching from them. But it really should start to feel like now you're starting to create material aspects of your life that support where you want to be. And then the things that aren't coming in, or the things that don't feel like they're available, maybe they are meant for a different time, or maybe there are other things that you need to get in order now. It feels like this new moon in Taurus really segments and showcases the material components of our lives that need to be in our lives. Okay, so basically what that means is that, you know, reaching for things that have not yet happened, reaching for new feelings of reality, reaching for like a new, totally new life, should start to become more real now. And you should maybe start to have a better material idea with this energy of that. And if it's all still in the void, or all still separate from you, maybe there are some other things that you need to work with here in the present moment. Something that I want to talk about as well. Okay, so this is just kind of a stream of consciousness. Again, I haven't, planned out much of what this video is, but we have to also keep in mind where we're coming from as well with this new moon, which is the full moon in Scorpio cycle. April 27th, we had the full moon in Scorpio. we had a T-square to Saturn in Aquarius with the Grand Taurus stellium as well. And again, that was in my full moon in Scorpio video, which will be available on my channel. So we want to definitely maybe look back on that time and see what worked well, what didn't work well. I think that this previous full moon in Scorpio cycle over the last 2 weeks would have shown any problem areas. So things that you don't need to be focusing on, things that you don't need to book up your time with or, be focusing on so prevalently, probably would have maybe fragmented or would have come up as a problem to be dealt with. So things that used to be really easy, things that used to be a simple part of your life, but maybe weren't really contributing that much to your greater future or to your greater sense of resonance, I think over the last 2 weeks would have come up as a problem to be solved, or would have come up with even a sense of intimidation or a sense of worry or danger even. Okay, the full moon in Scorpio cycle this year, if there was a sense of danger in our lives, that would have been highlighted and it would have been made clear by now. And the new moon in Taurus that we're about to move into on May 11th, and the new moon in Taurus cycle, which lasts until the next new moon over the entire month, I think will be respite. I think that it will, if we've been able to follow through, if we've been able to see what parts of our lives were not working out for our better good or not really good for us, if we've been able to act on that and if we've been able to click it at least, I think that we'll start to maybe replace things with this new moon in Taurus. So, okay, I saw that part of my business or that part of my job or that part of my, relationship was not good for me. Now, through solving that, I don't have to deal with that so much anymore, and I can actually replace that with things that are unquestionably healthy for my development as a person. New moon in Taurus deals a lot with our development, and because the sign of Taurus, the second sign of the zodiac, is like the phase of the toddler, okay? So it's like the development phase, and it's no longer, like Aries is the sign of the baby, Taurus is the zodiac goes in tandem with like the growth cycle of life as well. So you can see that mirrored. So we're now going into a different type of developmental stage with this new moon in Taurus, and we need to know what suits us and what doesn't. We have to get very clear. I think that that's probably the most difficult thing for a lot of people right now, is like just not really knowing if what they're doing works out for their greater future capacity. But you don't need to worry about it that much. But what you do need to do is probably need to coast a little bit and see how it's feeling over the greater spectrum of time in a simpler way. I don't think that this is really like meant to be a time of desperation or a time of like, I have to figure this out or I'm going to absolutely cause discord to the entire arc of my life or something. I'm feeling that a lot of people are in that because of this Saturn-Uranus square that we have, because of this previous full moon in Scorpio cycle. A lot of people are kind of delusionally thinking that some of the things that they're dealing with are bigger than they are. And also, conversely, there can be a downplaying as well and a nullifying of things which are actually meant to be more potent. It can go either way. Again, it's that extreme energy of Scorpio. But I think that people are just too in the mind. I think that most of us are not getting physical with things. I think that most of us have a lot of things on the back burner that we're not really facing, and convincing ourselves that some of these things that are more front and center are like much more of a, what do I want to say? They're much more of a sort of control mechanism of our entire life arc than they are. And I think that we have to, what do I want to say, like dumb things down a little bit, or simplify, yes, all of that stuff. But again, just kind of a stream of consciousness about how life can really not have to be so pressurized and so difficult. Again, I think that a lot of people with Saturn and Aquarius are getting very creative with the parameters in their life. Like, by this time I have to do that, or, through this structure I have to create my well-being or something. And it's like really not the case. But I mean, of course you can, and that's an interesting philosophical thing about life, isn't it? Like, the creative parameters we will sometimes set upon ourselves, like I have to save this amount of money, or I have to make this type of business, or I have to live this type of lifestyle. And through these mechanisms, I will have that, when maybe some of those mechanisms are way more preventative than we know. I would beware of self-imposed parameters right now. In some of the previous videos, I talked about how some people do need a deadline of like February 2022 to kind of get to know themselves better. I do think that's good, but that is in alignment of this sort of creative parameter setting where, life has not actually given you a deadline or not actually imposed some type of manifestation that represents a deadline. I do think that that's still good advice, and I'll stick by that. I think that February 2022 is a really good period of time for people to have a better idea of their life's purpose or something. But I also think that it's not needing to be so deliberate either. This is interesting. This is an interesting thing. I think the new moon in Taurus is really calming us down a little bit and saying, maybe rely a little bit more on your faith or your greater trust in the universe. Maybe rely a little bit more on supportive mechanisms than deliberate action. I know this is a little bit crazy because I'm all about deliberate action. I'm all about people deliberately, making changes to their lives and taking back control of their lives, getting into the driver's seat of their own lives and stuff. I'm all about that. But honestly, I feel that this period of time is totally open for that. And there are people who are totally, there anyway. But even if you are super in control of your own life, super self-determined, super, in the driver's seat, I would coast. Okay? Coasting. I was actually speaking to someone who I really admire recently, and they were telling me about, I guess the value of coasting sometimes and the value of not being hyperstimulated in every moment of your life and not always having to strive for that next thing. We're going to have definitely many, many opportunities for striving next year. Okay, it's really crazy. And this year is maybe one of the last years in about a 5-year cycle where striving doesn't have to be such a central core, and it can be more of a coasting within the already there parameters, with the parameters that are already there, So that's one of the main things coming up with this new moon in Taurus. And how does it kind of, show us this? Probably just through a feeling of frivolousness, okay? I think that things that we've done in vain or things that weren't necessary or that were, again, false representations of security definitely come up with this new moon in Taurus. And it's kind of relieving, actually. It's like a relief to see that tendency. Honestly, I don't think there's anything too bad with this new moon. I think that it's a beautiful time of relief for a lot of people and a beautiful coming of age and beautiful stepping up into a new level of prosperity as well, if you want it to be. It is true that we've got that Saturn square Uranus still in. We've got this new moon really activating that again. So if one wants to find problems, they can. If one is in the business of problem finding, or if one is particularly within a habitual pattern of, feeling as if things are off or seeking out things not perfectly put into place, any type of obsessive compulsive tendency like that, you can find a lot of jagged edges. You can find a lot of things that might not be perfect. But we do have to remember that perfect is the enemy of the good. And I do think that it's really important that people continue on a type of momentum right now too, and maybe experience a type of new security within what they have through this new moon in Taurus, because that's really possible. I mean, with the Saturn square, it says that a lot of people are really double checking things, fine tuning, optimizing, calibrating. And for some people, it does come through fear. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid I've done this wrong. I'm afraid that I've put something together in the incorrect way. Or there's that with the Uranus-Saturn square always. And a bit of a battle as well over resources, or a bit of a battle over I can't decide if I want, to make my cost of living this or that, or I can't decide if I want to be single or coupled, or I just, it all just seems like it has so many pros and cons and I can never get it together. That there is that type of thing right now. But then there's also this kind of very soft, alleviating energy that we can tap into very easily, as it seems that many, many, many people are at a level of security that maybe they haven't known in their lives. And that's pretty crazy to see, considering, the world, and considering that a lot of us haven't had an easy few years, it can come back to center at this point. It can come back into a level of ease and comfort and reminder of security, reminder of relief, reminders that are good things, and knowing that you don't have to do certain things anymore too, like certain very degrading jobs, for example. This is an interesting thing, this transit. So let's talk about this for a second. A feeling of degradingness, or a feeling of being beholden to some type of force, like the paycheck or the employer or the business or whatever it is, that's going to be very well alleviated right now, and other options will come up if you're like not where you're meant to be. If there's any type of, I feel that really strongly, that this is a very karmic time. Yes, it is. Pluto retrograde, and this new moon will move up and trine it. So it's kind of like a natural karma. It's a natural truth. Very strong mirror. And actually the rest of this year is going to be very mirror oriented, where we are going to really see like what we're, taking part in. People are really going to see how they've treated other people. People are going to be reminded over and over and over again who they are and how they're projecting themselves and representing themselves in the world. It's a very honest year, everyone. And this new moon in Taurus is going to take that to a new level. So for those of us who really like honesty, and for those of us who really like the truth, that's very empowering. But if there is an illusion or some type of reliance on lies or something like that, or reliance on some type of disempowerment regime, or some type of, self-degrading, making yourself beholden or beneath other people, that's going to be really, really a difficult thing to work with. And I think that these are all tones within the human condition, like nobody is any one place at all times. Like it's a very fluctuating life, obviously. But I think that every single person, regardless of how confident or insecure one might be, I think that this is a very potent, powerful time of the year to step into your power. I think this is a very potent time of the year to not need to be that beholden person, or also to not be that in charge person as well. Like I think that this is not really a great time to be role casting or niching yourself or placing yourself into this like really, like this is all that I am. I'm only ever going to be the business owner. I'm only ever going to be the person who attracts narcissists. I'm only ever going to be, like these sort of like one-toned expressions of self are very prevalent right now, and they are hard when it's such a mirror-oriented year, because you just see every single tone of it. There's nothing left to the imagination with a lot of people's like personas and stuff right now. So it's like it's so flat. It's so flat. And the thing is, like, humans aren't flat. They're very dimensional, obviously, which in the flatness to me is evocative of a dimension down. It's evocative of lowering of vibration, getting more two-dimensional, and this is a different video for a different day. Hit that like button if you want a video about different dimensions and about how humans kind of traverse different ones throughout different times of their life, and how that process changes. Hit the thumbs up button and comment below if you're interested in that. But I will say that a lot of people are taking the dimension down with this earthy energy, having come out of 2020 as well with an even stronger earth energy. A lot of people just want that flat, obvious, inarguable, non-complex, simple thing, that simple plane. But my gut feeling is that that's not actually what this composition of planets is asking of us right now. I don't think that it is flat. I don't think that it is needing to be that, because I don't think that that makes sense with the chronological movements of time right now. I feel like we're meant to be getting into like 4D, 5D stuff now, and a lot of us are like turning away, covering our eyes and saying, no, I want to flatten this out. I want this all to be a matter of contract. I want this all to be a matter of paper. I want this all to be a matter of a flat plane guaranteeing, a paper guaranteeing my well-being, very contractual, very obligatory, very, yes, inarguable, and safe too, like secure, very, very secure, like in the way that contracts give a feeling of security. But I would remind you that philosophically that paper is, so easy to do away with. Like there's nothing really there. It's like a type of, again, it's a type of 2D lower vibrational false representation of security that does certainly have consequences still these days and still does have a big effect on us. Paper, determines so much of our lives, it seems. But I do feel that that's also delusional for a lot of people at this point in time. So try to, form real 3D experiences, interactions with people, being with other people that who are healthy. Great new moon for like a turnover of social relationships, like meeting new friends, meeting new people, keeping the human aspect there, not confining your life to papers or to anything to two-dimensional screens as well. Same thing. We got to think about it. I think that a screen-dominated life, a paper-dominated life, the more that dominates your life, the more representative it is of a lower vibrational type of experience, a more 2D type of experience. Even 2D, like this is a 3D world, but with this prevalence of screens and 2D planes, I feel that many of us are really being pulled back into a two-dimensional world, and we need to really think about what that means and how that is so evocative of like things which can feel scary to people. Humans have a natural fear response to the second dimension. That's why people associate it with, demons and all that stuff. It's not really what it's about, but we're three-dimensional, we're not 2D. So it's a flattening feeling to be so obsessed or involved with the two-dimensional. And again, the sign of Taurus, the moon energy, new moon in Taurus, it's like dimensionality. It's like real things. It's the meat and potatoes of something. It's not the way things are spoken about. It's not the way things are written about. It's not the way that things are videotaped and placed onto YouTube. It's not that. It's about real things, real world experiences actually being in your life, So with that in mind, I really challenge all of us to think about the 3D, 4D, 5D aspects of our lives. Maybe I'll make a video about that in the future. But try to coast, okay? Coast in a sort of real dimensional way of being. And I know this is jargony, and I'm pretty sure that everybody here on my channel doesn't mind that. We're so niche here, I think, at this point in time that that's okay. And but if it's a little bit too jargony, to put it a little bit more simple, what are real things in our lives? Food, people, possessions, even belongings. Yeah, like real things. Those are good areas of focus for new moon and Taurus. Is there something new that you would like to maybe have, to hold, to have turnover with, to maybe donate clothes, to maybe have new types of clothes, new types of materials, new real things in your life? That might be a really beautiful experience right now. New relationships, new friendships are also very nice. We're going to be going into Mercury retrograde later this month in May, actually pretty soon. I believe it's around May 15th. I'll try to make a video for that for you guys. I'm not sure that date. Don't hold me to that. I've still got to look forward to map that out. But we're about to go into a Mercury retrograde. We're about to go into a Jupiter retrograde. So we're going to have Mercury, Jupiter, Pluto, and more retrogrades soon. Saturn's going to go eventually as well. So that's the pattern that we're in right now. We're in summer, quadro 4-5 retrograde seasons. That's been happening for quite a long time. So again, I've got a lot of videos from previous summers. Like you should check out my Pluto retrogrades videos, my Jupiter retrogrades, my Saturn retrogrades from the previous years. That's helpful to sort of understand our momentum. Because again, multiple retrogrades are about working with where we were. It's about working with redux, returns, unfinished business, stuff like that. So keep it as real as you can. Keep it as, manifest and true as you can. And again, this video is not like saying like, don't focus on any of those details. Don't focus on the paper. Don't focus on any of that stuff. Like that is all important part of our lives. But I just wanted to highlight the need to also be embodied and the need to be human as well. At this time is important. Any last messages I want to talk about before we finish up for today? I will just say, and this is kind of taking the theme of new moon and Taurus into the future a little bit. So like May 11th to like June 11th before we get the next new moon, because that's how long this will probably resonate for. I would say that it's okay to keep things, not as dimensional temporarily here. Like maybe, if you feel that there's something that you really need to work on, or if you feel that you need to recuperate or cleanse or purify the body, like that can be an aid. It can be a helpful thing to have a feeling of less complex experiences. But it does really feel strongly to me that we have to work in a momentum that prepares us to be more human, that prepares us to be more in the now, in the present moment, if we're not already there. Like if you're already there, you probably already can attest or see how much better that is once you get out of the mind, the mind-oriented thinking, planning, strategizing. It's very 2020 stuff, okay? So it's just kind of stretched out for a lot of people. But do think about getting more embodied and think about the health of your body. Again, New Moon in Taurus is really important to think about the health of the body and the mind as if they were one, the combinative sense of well-being that the mind, body, soul has to be, kind of all in a level of health to have health in any one of those things. So things that you can be healthy, keep, and this is where simplicity is a good thing, like cranberry juice is so great. Anything that are just simple purifiers for your life would be very good sources of healing right now. But anyway, everyone, I think I'm going to conclude. Again, this is very positive, actually. This is very easy. This is very not meant to be a complex time. It's meant to be more of a time of coasting and just incrementally getting to a healthier plane through everyday actions. It's not about the sprint. It's about the marathon right now. Endurance is important right now. Okay, so anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the like button, the thumbs up button, and comment below, and hit the subscribe button. I have some links in the description box if you want to go further and see what else the channel has to offer, or you can just click over to the channel and see some of the other videos. I so appreciate the time you took to check out this video, and if it resonated, yes, like, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. I so appreciate all of that. I love to read all the comments, and I will try to reply to some of them this time around. So happy New Moon in Taurus, everyone. It's one of the best moons of the year. It's the exalted moon in Taurus. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your life. Enjoy being human at this time. So thank you so much, everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.